ちょっと待ってね。そうだな。ーっと。OK かな。よし。いいかな。続き。オリエント急行殺人事件の続きから。ちょっとマイクがでかなったな。はいはい。はいはい。えっと。あれか。ピエロみたいなやつに刺された後か。よし。これか。お。
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity?
モロのメガネじゃなかったっけ?
There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag.
100。赤。ワディアジズワディ。パチェワディアジズ。
Mr. Wadi's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
めっちゃ調べてる。スイッツァーランドジュネビーハゲチャビンわかんねえこれ。
No, not good.
違うか。78ってことは俺の1個よりか40。でね。国籍バグダッド。それね、45。パスポートって何？国籍ってどこに書いてんの？違うのかな。スイッツァーランドって書いとるわな。俺パスポートって作ったことないんだよな。わ かんない。ヒンツ。ジュネーブやろ ?45 歳。
I do not think that's the right answer.
スイス人ではないってことか。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I must admit I'm not right this time.
話題になってるわ。なんでその引っ掛け
That happens. Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Waddy was obviously planning to leave this city. A bunch of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Waddy is a resident of Geneva, then one of these may belong to his home there.
イランの国旗。生まれはバグダッドってことか。
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case.
こんだけ？まだある？あと1個ある。もう調べてる。ちょっとこっち邪魔だなってなってる。お、あった。
A false passport with Ratchet's picture. Clark, Ratchet. How many others? Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
お、新しいのとこれなんだ。
According to the information I have, this is a solid choice.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Waddy.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, the database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
Excellent. こんな。CGS がない。
I don't need Mr. Poirot. No, I did something wrong. No, isn't it? No, Joanna. That doesn't track.
あるじゃん。NA のあったぜ。
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all.
と G。 NNS あった。
That is a great detective job.
G がないな。あった。
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all. Mr. Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it. So he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
Ah, there is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But we progress. We know Mr. Wadi had an appointment with Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
身を隠そうとして
I
いた。
discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
犯人はなぜ金を置いていった。動機は金ではないから。
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
Revenge seems like an obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Wadi from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Wadi's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis. We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
殺人犯は誰か。ラチェットを殺した人物と同じ。
I think Wadi's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the ransom money.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me.
これはモロ
Wait,
の
I know. I've seen these. They belong to Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
つけてなか
I
ったね。
remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
偽の証拠とし
Ratchet
て
used
使
to
う。
leave fake evidence at the scene of his crimes to incriminate others. He did the same thing to frame Suzanne.
Possibly. But keeping an object belonging to his victim as a souvenir of the murder, that is the behavior of a fetishist.
Now that you mention it, in my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in Ratchet's cabin, and now we find Suzanne's glasses in a bag for Ratchet.
2 objects from 2 victims of Ratchet. He is a trophy hunter.
Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Wadi worked.
Wadi was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that?
マネーロンダリングする
A
係だっ
visit
たんだ
to
な。
Geneva, perhaps?
おお、スイスに飛んだぜ今度は。ほんでね、ベネティーヤ。あと。
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10 people milling about, taking their turn at stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
Pierre Michel's testimony is, of course, false. He was actively involved in the murder plot. I must know his real movements to understand when our 13th murderer could have acted undetected.
犯人はまだね、下に乗ってるのか。まだ
Yes,
そうだ
he
ね。
most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
乗っているという根拠は列車からいなくなったものが
All
誰
the
もいないから
passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Wadi had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. 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 Oh, it's a nightmare.
Let us take it step by step, my friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury.
ラチェットに裁きを下し処刑した12人はこいつとこいつとこいつとこいつとあれ違うこいつとこいつとこいつとこいつと123456789でしょ10、11、12か。
I'm right again. If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with 7 additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
除外できるなブークは違う。
Brilliant.
入ってるな。
Book worked hard to get me aboard the train. He is definitely not a suspect.
水ロックは違う。
Fantastic.
ファンタスティック。
Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Waddy's murderer.
医者怪しいっちゃ怪しいな。
Oh, that is not a good answer.
違うのか。
Good.
怪しい気がするけど
Dr.
な。
Constantine alerted me
あ
to
あ、そっ
the
か。知らせてくれたのはこいつか。
He is not a suspect. Et voilà. I have 4 suspects left who I must now examine more closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché, and Countess Andrény.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice, so we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call for my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
ニルテンはまあはいはいあ
Ah, Michel, I have a few more questions to ask you, if you will allow me.
Anything, Monsieur Poirot. We are in your debt.
Please tell me your movements when we were stopped at Venice Station.
Once the compartments were cleaned and the linen refreshed, I stayed in my quarters.
Did you notice anything special? Comings and goings?
Monsieur Bouc had asked everyone to stay in their compartments. I would occasionally walk the train to ensure everyone was comfortable. Oh, I saw Monsieur Maury was all alone loading his crates of provisions. A great chef like that, reduced to petty labor, I would have helped him. But Monsieur Bouc had ordered me not to leave the train for any reason. So, Monsieur Maury was forced to labor alone.
Let us review the actual timeline of the night of Ratchet's murder, not the one manufactured to hide your crime.
I left the train in Minkowski for a smoke. Then I resumed my post. That was the truth. The train departed on schedule. But then, of course, an avalanche of snow blocked the tracks. At 12:45, Madame Hubbard and I met in her compartment to discuss how to adapt our plan.
Due to the snow and Poirot.
The little play we had staged for you had to be rewritten. I left her compartment at approximately 1:15.
Then the curtain went up. Calls in the night, the red kimono, all for my benefit.
And all for nothing, as it turned out.
Do not blame yourself, Michel. I am the theater critic no playwright wants to see in the audience.
誰が怪しいかだな。みんな怪しいけどな。お、
You play well. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. Many years of piano lessons thanks to my mother. I try to play in a few clubs in Paris when I get the chance, but as you can see, it hasn't made me rich. What can I do for you?
Conversation only. Tell me about your time in Venice.
I had Monsieur Book's permission to see my sister.
You
She
might
lives in
like it.
Marghera, just outside of Venice. She had a baby a few weeks ago. This was my first chance to meet my new nephew.
Monsieur Book gave you permission?
Yes, you can ask him.
Most assuredly, I will. What time did you leave and when did you return?
I left around 9:10 p.m. I was back by 10:45 p.m. When I got back, Hotaru was in a lot of pain. I gave him a back massage.
That would have been enough time to kill Monsieur Wadi and return to the train. May I see your knives?
Of course, they are here.
If you don't mind.
Help yourself. They are under the bar counter.
Tell me again about your poker game the night of the murder.
It's a regular game to help relax after a long day. Let's see, we started around 11 p.m. We took a short break in Vinkovsky, Hotaru, Pierre, and I. The game finished up around 2 a.m. We'd all had quite a bit to drink. Ah, yes, I left for about 10 minutes to refrigerate champagne for the next day. That must have been around 1 a.m.
1時頃ならなんか聞こえてそうなもんやが。
None of these come close to the wounds on either body.
こいつも違うのか。他にないのか。ここが開けれるのかな。なんかあるんだろうなって気がするんだよな。
Good evening, Monsieur Mori. May I have a moment of your time? I have a few questions to ask you.
Of course, as long as you don't mind if dinner is ruined.
I promise to be as brief as possible. What did you do while we were stopped in Venice?
With Freya's help, I loaded fresh produce for the next part of our journey. Then, you may not believe this, but my job requires a lot of physical labor. My back suffers. Fortunately, Jean has become quite adept at separating my vertebrae.
As you may know, I have solved the murder of Monsieur Ratchet.
That is a shame.
I beg your pardon?
The bastard sent my steak tartar back, telling John I was to burn it.
I will add it to the list of his crimes. One wound on Monsieur Ratchet's body was struck by a very sharp, thin-bladed knife. We haven't found it yet.
You think one of mine was used?
I'd like to have a look, if you don't mind.
In that drawer.
An impressive set of knives. But their blades are too wide to have been used for the crime. Tell me about your poker game the night of the murder.
We started around 11 p.m. When John finished his shift, we played until around 2 a.m. From what I remember, it's a bit vague.
You played without a break.
Actually, we did break once for a smoke. John, Pierre, and I. When we stopped in Vinkovsky,
When was that?
around midnight.
お、
Saffron. It must be worth a small fortune.
マフェラーノって書いてある。なんか意味があるんだろうな。なんも
box is secured by some sort of locking mechanism. The design is formed by 3 commas. What is the
三
word
つどもえで
in
す
Japanese?
わ。
Tamoe. And it's obviously missing a piece.
三つどもえがあるよ。
Good evening, Mademoiselle Nielsen. May I talk to you for a moment?
Of course, Mr. Poirot. I'm not going to bed right away.
Can you tell me your movements while we were stopped in Venice?
That'll be easy. I didn't move much at all. Let's see. I helped Hataru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hataru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Dr. Constantine found a stab wound on Ratchet's body that was caused by a much thinner and sharper blade than the others.
Possibly a chef's knife?
My thought precisely.
And you'd like to see my knives?
If you wouldn't mind.
I would gladly show you if I had any, but I don't. I use the regular kitchen knives. You may search if you don't believe me.
I see.
All the knives the staff use are in the kitchen or in the lounge, except
Except
Hotaro prefers to use his own.
Monsieur Mori doesn't use the kitchen knives?
Not usually. I know he keeps a set of traditional Japanese knives in a box in his room. He doesn't let anyone else use them. Although now that I think of it, he has been using the kitchen knives lately.
ちょっと待ってね。
Can you tell me exactly about your poker game the night of the murder?
We started around 11 p.m. In Vinkovsky, we took a short break. Hataru and Pierre went outside to smoke. Oh, and Hataru got sick around a few minutes past 1 a.m. 1:10 a.m. maybe? He spent about 15 minutes in the bathroom, but he didn't want to quit on a losing streak.
Did his luck improve?
No, so we played to around 2 a.m. He lost every hand.
森さん怪しくなったな。巴を探すぞ。ひげ。
Another delightful trophy for my collection.
ひげは何になるのかな。まあコレクションだろうけど。巴がどこにあるかだな。なんもなさそう。何か。ちょっと待ってね。Okay.
You told Fauché he could go into Venice?
Marghera, actually. Not so far away. It was his only chance to see his sister. He's been working every train for weeks. There is never time to see the new baby.
Enough, Book. Your heart does you credit, but your common sense, it...
I know. But it's fine. Isn't it? He did come back.
Oh, it's fine, as you say. Unless he saw the baby, then killed someone else and returned to the train.
But that's monstrous.
Murder is always monstrous, my friend.
どうかしてるぜ。こう絶対なんかあるはずなんだよな。くまなく探してもな、もうないもんな。お、
Doctor, I need to question Countess Andreni.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Mr. Poirot. The Countess had an anxiety attack when we arrived in Venice. She was terrified the police would come for her and her husband, despite how you concluded your investigation. I had to give her a sedative. She has been sleeping since.
You have stayed with her all the time we were in Venice?
Count Andreni begged me to watch over her. I have not left this room.
You're the reason she's in this state.
Book voted to absolve you all. I accepted his verdict.
I told her. I tried to reason with her. What she has already suffered, the strain of these last few days, it was too much.
I understand, Count. It's quite all right. I have the answers I came for. I've talked to everyone, but some elements of the testimonies do not seem to correspond. I need to recheck a few things.
モーリー、お、来た来た来た。スタッフの殺人発生時のアリバイを証明する2つを選択。ん？
I must admit I'm
違う
not
違う違
right this time.
う違う、そういうことをしてない。アリバイを証明する。
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
アリバイでしょ？アリバイを証明するだから、アリバイがあるよってことでしょ？
No, 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 not good.
え？ヒント。 ってことは他のスタッフが喫煙中スタッフルームに一人でいた。ミスター・フォー氏はそこに戻ったが、ミッシェルはまだ外にいた。ミスター・モリーはミスター・ミッシェルが持ち場に戻る前に列車に乗ったから。
I do not think that's the right answer.
これとこれってことか。
No, 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 not good. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer.
これでしょ。
I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer.
一番関係なさそうなやつ。これとこれ。ああ、時間がってことか。うん。はんはんはん。
Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer.
うんうんうん、時間の問題か。はあはあはあ。うんうんうん。で、こうか。うんうんうん。
Any of the three staff members had the opportunity to kill Ratchet when Monsieur Michel wasn't watching the hallway. My little gray cells.
まあまあ、一個一個行こう。俺はこいつが怪しいと思うんだけど違うのかな。
One we have.
Yes.
I'd like to have.
In that,
違うんだなこれ。302号室か。ともえでしょ。ああ、こっちか。わーお。なにこれ。ん回転の意味がわからん。
It's still locked. I need to move the parts on the side.
Ah, そういうことか。はいはいはい。 はあはあはあ、なるほどなるほど。スライドができるかどうかっていう話。
It's still locked. I need to move the parts on the side.
はいはいはい。ってことは逆方向ってことか。むずっ、操作が。はいはいはい。はいはいはい。こうか。はいはいはい。あ、で、こっちか。はいはいはい。これがだから、血が抜ければいいんだから。で、操作がむずっ。で、こっちにあって、取れたー。
An object that looks like a broken comma. It must be part of something else.
まがたま。カポ。箱。
Sushi knives.
寿司ナイフ。寿司ナイフじゃねえな。こいつじゃねえか。
Sushi knife.
こいつかデバか。
Colteria Venezia. Sushi knife. Sushi. I'm sorry, Monsieur Mori, but haven't you forgotten something? You haven't told me about the knives hidden in your room.
Ha! Yes, indeed. I forgot to tell you about those. They are my personal knives. I only use these knives. There are none better. I bought them all in Japan. No one is allowed to touch
嘘ですな。ベネティーヤがあるな。
I'm afraid you are better at sushi than lying.
What? What do you mean?
One of the knives has an inscription, Coltelleria Venezia. Did you happen to go shopping tonight, monsieur?
Damn you, Poirot. Very well. One of my sushi knives has been missing since the night of the murder. I thought you were going to believe I killed Ratchet. He routinely sent back my dishes to be ruined. Why does God give rich people the money to afford the best cuisine, but not the palate to appreciate it? I panicked. I know a very good store in Venice. I went to buy a knife to replace the one that had gone missing. So, I wouldn't be accused. I assure you that I had nothing to do with any murders.
I would have an easier time believing you, monsieur, if you put that knife down.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
What time did you leave on your little shopping trip?
I left around 9:30 p.m. I was back a little after 11. 11:15 p.m.
Time enough to stab Monsieur Wadi and return. Very well, Monsieur Mori. That's all for now. If I have another question...
I'll be right here, cooking.
ってなってくると、俺じゃねえって言ってるから、おっぱいちゃんか。おっぱいちゃんが、ちょっと、なんかある。カラスの羽。
A black feather. That reminds me of something.
やっぱ奉仕じゃねえかな。まあここもあり得るけどな。
Remind me of what you did when the train stopped in Venice.
No problem. I helped Hotaru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hotaru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier, without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
That does not prove she's lying. She may be telling the truth, but I cannot be certain. Mademoiselle,
ああ、全
I
部では
believe
ない、ね。
you're
手
hiding
伝
the
ったと。
truth from me.
What makes you say that?
Monsieur Fauché did not see you helping Monsieur Mori.
He couldn't have. He wasn't there.
Indeed, Monsieur Fauché did not mention seeing Miss Nielsen or Monsieur Mori.
ミシェル
Michel
か。
saw Monsieur Mori carrying the crates of food alone. You weren't on the platform.
I did help Hotaru.
The entire time? He carried so many crates, his back was sore.
Ah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm guilty. I did leave him before we were finished. But I had to. There was no saffron he needed for a recipe. I volunteered to go into Venice and get him some. The Rialto market would be open late because of the carnival. He gave me money. I knew we weren't supposed to leave the train, but I only wanted to help. Mr. Mori can confirm this. Ask him. I saved dinner.
On behalf of my palate, I thank you. How long were you gone?
I left at 9:10 p.m. and was back with the saffron around 11. That's when I called my supplier for the items I was missing.
Miss Nielsen had almost 2 hours to buy the saffron, find a costume, kill Monsieur Wadi, elude Detective Locke, and make it back to the train for that phone call. Yes, it's possible that was enough time. Thank you, Mademoiselle Nielsen. That is all for now.
Sorry again, Mr. Poirot. I hope you enjoy tonight's dessert.
ニールセンちゃん怪しいよな。アリバイがないのはこの
That's the
3
right answer.
ロックちゃんの部屋どこだっけ？この3人グルっていうのは十分あり得るよな。ここは違うでしょ。 けるけど違うでしょ。ロックちゃんの部屋はこの辺じゃなかったっけ。
What have you been doing, Poirot? I am completely in the dark.
I will shine some light on the situation, my friend. I have 3 new suspects who could have killed Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Fauché, and Monsieur Maury. They all had periods of time during both murders to commit the deed, and their alibis are weak. A visit to family, and not 1, but 2 shopping trips.
But all are my employees.
Alas, yes, my dear book. But we have no proof against any of them. None of the 3 appears to have any motive whatsoever.
But this is a tragedy.
Do not give up hope. We will catch this murderer. There is still one place that may hold the evidence we need.
Geneva.
Exact.
Do not give up hope? Well, that's easy for you to say. But what if it's Freya? What becomes of dessert? If it's Sotaru, who will cook? Me? And the worst, if it's Jean, who will serve the drinks?
I've been checking up on the Banque du Lac. I had to confirm my identity for Interpol, so they contacted my captain at the Berkshire Police.
I suspect he was not pleased.
That my vacation was actually an unofficial investigation? I'll say.
I would be happy to speak to him on your behalf.
Thank you, but he'll get over it. It's a chance to close the books on the Armstrong kidnapping. He stopped yelling, asked for a report, then granted me an extra week.
Excellent. What did you learn from Interpol about the Banque du Lac?
It's had a bad reputation for over a century. Customers have included the mafia, Nazis, corporate swindlers of every description, even heads of state.
It is true, this. It is the worst kept secret in banking. They take advantage of the bank's strict policy of protecting the anonymity of its clients. This is in defiance of many laws from multiple countries, including Switzerland itself. Of course, I have never taken advantage of such a corrupt system.
That goes without saying, my friend.
There are ongoing investigations, subpoenas, court orders. The bank will eventually have to comply, or its assets may be seized. But until then, it still thrives, thanks to its wealthy and powerful clients.
It sounds perfect for the late Monsieur Ratchet. Do you have any ideas?
The serial numbers from some of the bills match those from the Armstrong kidnapping. We agreed in Venice that the bulk of the money must still be physically in the bank's vault.
I concur, Detective Locke. Exemplary work. So, our next task is clear. We need to get into Ratchet's safety deposit box.
There will be codes, passwords.
And Monsieur Wadi would, of course, have known them all. The bag of money he carried is proof of that.
We'll need to find information about Ratchet's box in Wadi's office at the bank.
Most assuredly, but remember the secrecy involved. I doubt his office will contain all we need. Where else must we dig? Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. There was nothing helpful in Ratchet's diary.
ワディの住居。
That was easy.
Mr. Wadi couldn't keep all of his secrets at the bank. Hopefully we'll find something in his apartment. We already have his address thanks to his passport, and his keys we retrieved from his body.
The train stops in Lausanne at 8 a.m. But that's far from Geneva. I can delay the departure until 11 a.m. No later. The police are expecting us in Paris by the end of the afternoon at the latest. They won't tolerate any delay.
The bank doesn't open until 9. I can see only one way that gives us a chance to be on time. Let's take a taxi. I checked a map. It should take us less than an hour to get to Geneva from Lausanne, which leaves us just enough time to access that safety deposit box. We have no choice if we want to be back to the train by 11 a.m.
ってわけだな。
Best thing is to separate. One of us searches his apartment, The other searches his office. To access the safety deposit box, we need to find the key, the box number, and the passcode.
Suppose you find all this. How do you plan to get into the vault?
We are going to use the bank's anonymity policy to our advantage.
And the quickest way is for you to impersonate Ratchet.
I would rather impersonate Jack the Ripper, but in the interest of justice, I will do
銀
it.
行
We
に
need to find
ポ
the
アロが
account
行く
number.
Along with everything else.
I will say I want access to the vault. They don't ask for papers or even names. The vault information is enough.
I'm not hearing any of this. I run a train company. I don't rob banks.
Perfect. Let's recap the plan.
まずタクシーでジュネーブに行く。オフィスを調べた。手分けしてこうしてこうしてこうしてこうなって銀行で落ち合う。
No, no, no,
Chico.
no, not good. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
こういうことか。
I must admit I'm not right this time.
ジュネーブに行って二手に分かれて住居を捜索する。やっぱこうだよな。でこうなってめっちゃこうか。
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
こうなってこうなってこうなる。
Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer.
こうか。
I do not think that's the right answer.
こうか。
That's the right answer.
To sum up, we're going by taxi to Geneva. Then we'll split up. You're going to search Mr. Wadi's apartment. I'll search the office at the bank. When we have all the information we need, you pretend to be Ratchet, and we can finally find out what Ratchet is keeping hidden in his safety deposit box.
It sounds impossible.
Not for Detective Joanna Locke and Hercule Poirot.
We should get some rest.
You are right, Detective. We face our greatest challenge tomorrow. Together.
パズルしてんな。
9 o'clock. Our driver did well. It took barely an hour to get here from Lausanne.
But we must conclude our business in 1 hour as well. Book can only hold the train until 11 o'clock.
1 hour to find the key of Ratchet's safety deposit box, the box number, and its passcode. A lot to ask.
Indeed, which is why we must split our forces. I will take the cab to Monsieur Wadi's address. You must search his office.
I have you on speed dial. And thank you, Mr. Poirot,
For what, mademoiselle?
for trusting me.
やったらないかい。これが最後の事件になりそうな感じではあるが。さあどうなることやら。 ひげ。
Shiny facial hair. The good news is that it's gold. You there. I have an appointment with Mr. Wadi.
Let me check. I'm sorry, I don't see any appointments this morning at all. Mr. Wadi hasn't even arrived yet. Although he should be here by now.
Even though your customers are anonymous, considering the amount of money involved, you should still have a mention of a meeting.
Yes, I can't understand it. I'll be sure to ask Mr. Wadi when he arrives. In the meantime, you are more than welcome to wait in his office. I'll see you're not disturbed. Please follow me.
Office?
I can't understand where Mr. Wadi might be.
You're right. I don't have much time at all. I'm taking a picture of it. I'll send it to Poirot. It might be useful to him. I need the password. Maybe Poirot can help me. Locked.
一個一個解いていくやつね。
A souvenir tower of Babel. Makes
イラ
sense.
クだっけ？
We know that Mr. Wadi is from
Baghdad.
Iraq, and the ancient tower is said to have been built there.
意味がわからんの。違う、多分これ全体のヒントだな。数かな。4つ。ないな。ちょっと違うか。ちょっとわからんな。謎すぎるわ。どういうことなんだろうな。いや、後で。
Alice in Wonderland. Again. Mr. Wadi seems to have really liked this book.
あら、ニヤニヤのない猫ならよく見るけど、アリスはもう猫のないニヤニヤなんて、こんなへんてこなもの初めて見たわ。アリスがそれほど進まないうちに3月うさぎの家が見えてきました。それがその家なんだとアリスは思いました。煙突が耳のような形で屋根には毛皮が張ってあったからです。 大きな家であまりに近づきたくなかったので、アリスは左手に持ったキノコをもう少しかじって2フィートくらいに背を高くしておきました。ものすごくイカれてたらどうしよう。これなら帽子屋に会いに行った方がいいのかも。意味が全くわからんけど、めっちゃあるけど。超絶難しいんだが。ひげ。
Help yourself, Joanna. You earned it. Time is not on my side.
よし。ヒント。
I haven't finished what I had to do here yet. It's closed.
お、もしもし。
I managed to get into Wadi's office. I did a quick preliminary search. Everything is locked, including his computer. All I could find was a photo with a date on it. I just sent it to you. Maybe you can use it.
Thank you. That might help. I've just arrived at the apartment. I'll call you when I find something.
As quick as you can. I can't stay here long.
さあ、選手交代。ワーロ。
This is definitely not Monsieur Wadi's apartment. This is definitely... Ah, here we are. Let's see if the key I picked up in Monsieur Wadi's luggage in Venice will open his door. Great.
指紋べったりついてるけどいいんすか？じゃあこん。ひげ。
You can never have too many of these. A dart, a familiar projectile found in any pub in England.
全く一緒じゃないの。何意味がわからん。
I think this belongs here.
.なるほど。パスワード。そうかい。でも 1865年の9番の8891ペー
The
ジ。
key to the password is close. I can feel it.
88、91、94、96、98。いえ91、94、96。全然わからんけど。
That may be useful to Mademoiselle Locke or me. I'll take a photo.
OK、OK、OK。なるほどね。チェス。お、誰か来た。白は D。A の6。D の8。D の5。仕方するけどね。D が1、2、3、4、5。5番目。1、2、3、4、5番目。もううっさいな、もう。もしもし。
Who are you? What are you doing in there?
I am Hercule Poirot. I am working with the police. You are Monsieur Wadi's neighbor?
Yes, next door. I heard a noise. I thought it was Mr. Wadi who had come home. I don't know him very well. A delivery man left a package for him with me.
What evidence can help me prove he's lying? I need some hard evidence to
全部
prove
嘘
he's
だろ、こん
lying.
な。
You don't know your neighbor very well.
Yes, what of it?
How is it that Monsieur Wadi has a picture of you on his desk? There is quite a family resemblance. You wouldn't be his brother by any chance.
Why are you going through his things?
As I told you, I am working with the police.
All right, yes. I'm his brother, Mehdi Wadi. Do you know where he is?
I am very sorry, sir, but I have some terrible news for you. Your brother has been murdered. You have my sincere condolences.
Oh my god.
Aziz, my wife, my son, their hearts will break. Everything he did was for his family. He brought us here from Iraq to give my son a better future. We can't go back. You won't.
Do not fret, Monsieur Wadi. I do not want to cause trouble for you and your family. I am here to catch his murderer. When did you last see your brother?
2 days ago. He was on his way to Venice. It was not a journey he was looking forward to. I knew something was wrong, but he promised all would be well soon. My son will be heartbroken. Aziz made a point of reading to Fadi every night so he could learn English. We hope to legally emigrate there one day.
Your son, Fadi. What did Monsieur Wadi read to him?
His favorite book is Alice in Wonderland. The nonsense of it all. Why?
It is the answer to a question I had. I believe your brother was a good man, forced for some reason to keep secrets, and that got him killed.
Sir, there is something else. Aziz left me a letter to open if anything should happen to him.
Could you show it to me?
Yes, I will get it.
ちょっと俺ダーツがしたいんだ。弟よラチェットという男に銀行にいるのを見られた。そいつはお前やお前の家族を殺されたくなければ犯罪に手を貸せと脅してきた。MFD。もし私が殺されるようなことがあったらその男は犯人だ。口座番号は82664だ。
It all makes sense. It's horrific. But to Ratchet, it would be just business as usual. At least I have Ratchet's account number, 82664.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me this letter. Let me assure you, the man Ratchet cannot harm you. He was killed before your brother was.
Really? Who did it? The one you say hunted Ratchet?
Yes, without a doubt. I promise you I will find them.
Sir, we have no papers. The police...
Your secret is safe with me, monsieur.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, I must go to my wife and son. Tonight, I will read to Fadi from Alice in Wonderland, and we will remember my brother.
I need to notify Mademoiselle Locke that I have Ratchet's bank account number.
待て、こっちが先だ。D の5と D の8と A の6か。もう一回。A の6で、はい。D の5と A の6、はい。で黒が A の87と B の7。A の87。と B の7。パコリーノ違うな。82664違うな。桁が長いな。
Staring at the clock won't help, Poirot. This could be the password to Monsieur Wadi's office computer. He must change it every month. It seems to have a logical sequence, but I need to find the one for December.
361079 747218わかんねえ。 七久保ロパ屋を稲子区鬼野郎内見区パニシ。そしたら使ってない数字なのかな。使ってない数字がわかんねえ、こんなのよ。斜めに呼ぶ。ああ、なるほどね。3759だから、19245 5193。
If that's the password to the computer in Monsieur Wadi's office, we still need to translate the Arabic characters. And there weren't any Arabic characters on the office computer's keyboard. I wonder if the computer in Monsieur Wadi's office has a similar Arabic keyboard. That's the right answer.
チェンジするか。じゃあ選手交代のお知らせです。
The peculiar habit some people have of displaying things on the door of their refrigerator. I've just sent a photo to you in case it might help you.
Thank you.
I texted Ratchet's account number to you.
Wonderful.
それではまずこいつをやりましょう。可能性があるのはフィンツ。フィンツ。あはっ、こんばんは。じっちゃんの何かけて。なんかえらいややこしなってきましたわ。四角1、四角1。わかんねえ。そうそう、全然意味がわからん。これと右角か、右角。 ってことはこれが右角になって、これも右角か？開かない。多分これなんだよな。違うか。ヒントが複雑すぎるっていうか遠すぎるんだよね、ヒントの絵が。書いてるなんでそうなる？もうこの意味がわからんわ。もう答えが出ちゃってるんでね。チャキーンパコーンゲッツ
A key. I wonder if it will fit the desk drawer.
パコチャキーンズガーンドコーン何なんか書け、
Those indentations are from the sheet of the notepad that was on top. This is great. All those mystery movies I watched as a kid. I know what to do.
こんなぶっとくこう線が出るもん
I'll
か
send a
ね。
picture of this to Poirot.
むずし。なんだっけ。もう一、違う。アラビア語。と、これの88ページ7章88ページ第7章。そう、これがね、なんかすごいめんどくさい。4日91ページ94ページ3月で96ページ96ページわかんねえこんなの意味がわからん。切り替え。
I sent you a photo of doodles I found on a notepad. I hope it can help you.
I hope so as well.
ょっと待って、メモが80、91、94、96、98。マグネットなのか。今気づいたわ、こうやって見て。そうだな。ノーパソあるよ、ノーパソ。
This computer won't give up its secrets easily. This keyboard should help me translate this code.
わあ。どれだ？ G の上点々、G の上点々2つ。R。U のでっかいやつ、U のでっかいやつと A か、これ。金玉3つ。オツ。P。オツ。U のでっかいやつ、下チョン。U のでっかいやつ、下チョン。F。の U のでっかいやつに金玉3つ。U のでっかいやつに来て E。
Arabic is read from right to left, so the password must surely be read that way too.
RAPFE。
With any luck, this will unlock the computer in Monsieur Wadi's office. Let me text it to Miss Locke. That was easy.
だいぶイージーではないけどな。まあいいや。切り替え。
Did you receive my text? This must be the password to Monsieur Wadi's computer.
I have it. Thank you.
R 5なんぼやって1うわうわえ右から左に読むってことは E3QFQP1A5R むず E3F1 P これおじいちゃんには E3FQP1A5R か23F1わかんない。E3FQP1A5R FQ F1 P F じゃE3 になってない E9 になってるE3F9P1AOR E3 F9 P1A5R 天才。口座番号は82664でございます。
The number of Ratchet's safety deposit box. At last. I should let Mr.
現在
Poirot
の
know.
残高0円になってる。金庫番号4346。
I was able to access Mr. Wadi's computer. I have Ratchet's safety deposit box number.
Excellent.
何すんの？
I must admit I'm
So
not
chill.
right this time.
これがいまいちよくわかんないんだよな。もう早く終わりたいんでヒントをガンガン見ていきましょう。いける。34962。
Ratchet's password. Here it is.
なんでそうなったかは知ら
I'll
ない。
write again. That
どっからそうなるのかが全くわかんないよね、これ。なんかヒントがあればわかるけど。
I believe I have discovered Ratchet's safety deposit box passcode.
We're almost there.
これ3、4になる意味がわからんな。3、4、ん？3、4、9時で9か。9。2ちょっと意味がわからん。頭おかしくなっちゃう。もういいや。4346の
It's closed. I haven't finished.
え、何すんの？違う。こいつじゃないってこと？何すんの？何すんだろう。
Mr. Poirot, how are you doing?
I have little to report, but keep looking.
あとなんかあるっけ？あ、これか。これが34962だ。あ、違う。貸金庫の暗証番号。こっちの部屋になんかあんのかな。でもなんもねえんだよな、こっちの部屋。すごい、あんだけ俺30分ぐらいやってるけど5分しか進んでない。
Staring at the clock won't help, Poirot.
こっちじゃないのか、したら。
Mademoiselle Locke, how far along are you?
Still not very far, but I'm not giving up.
どうなんだろうね。オリジナルなのかな。まあでもそんなになんか小説とかではなさそうな感じはあるよね。あと何あんの？この絵？ゴミ箱なんもなし。
It's closed.
この椅子欲しいな。これ良さそうよね。寝っ転がれそうよ。あと何？あそこも開けない。ヒンツ。何もいじれないんだよな。鍵ってことか。 からこれパソコンのパスワードでしょ？ってことはポアロに電話して
Mr. Poirot.
I have.
これだよね。何桁これ？ 1,2,3,4,5,6,7 7桁？ 7桁の数字。7桁の数字なんてないぞ。これか。ん？全然わからんけど。ノーヒントすぎんかこれ。マジか。これ
A bizarre endgame to be sure, but I
Magica.
suspect checkmate is possible for white in 3 moves. Let's see.
なんでチェックメイトを調べろと。チェスなんてやったことねえんだが。蒸気の状態になるよう正しく動かすこと。意味がわからん。さすがにわからん。白のビショップを C6 へ犠牲になってもらう。白のビショップを C6 へ。
Good job.
倒す。
I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer. Right. I do not think that's the right answer. Yes. That was easy.
子供でもできる。できてない。確かに。で、どうなった？ C6 って結局何？意味がわからん。とりあえずじゃあメインロックに電話しようか。3手でチェックメイトしたんだ。子供でもできるぞって言ってる。
Mademoiselle Locke, how far along are you?
Still not very far, but I'm not giving up.
全然わからんわ。ノーヒントすぎる。実はこのペンの先っちょでくるくるってた。ノーヒントすぎる。
Mr.
C6 のなんだっけ、C6 のC6 において取られ、C8 にビショップを移動し、67、687。いやー、全く解決にならん。むずすぎんかこれ。違うなぁ。クッション多すぎなんだって。で、柄統一しろやな。風呂場はこれなんでいける？いらんだろ、ここの空間。
Make certain you have accomplished everything in here. You will not get another chance.
口座番号と、貸金庫のパスワード。 然わからんけど、どっかに重く数字書いてないかな。マジむずすぎるんだが。あとでもこれだけだもんな。待って、これの数字とかってこと？違うよな、さすがに。いや。鍵の番号。問題はあれか。これか。1234567。あ、これだ。はいはいはい。あれこんな感じじゃなかったっけ？M 書いて、真ん中行って、右下か。きたー！
It looks like a safe key to me. We finally found it.
いやー。やっと来ちゃー。
Good news. I have found the key to Ratchet's safe.
Perfect. We're running out of time. Do we have everything?
I have the key to the safety deposit box.
I have the number of the box.
And we have the passcode. I'm on my way. Time to rob a bank.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I haven't heard from Monsieur Wadi. You'll have to reschedule with him.
This is quite annoying. I'll have to reschedule.
Absolutely. I hope I have been of service.
You have no idea. That was fast. We do this as planned?
Yes, I am, Monsieur Ratchet. But with the bank's questionable policy, I do not expect anyone to ask.
Right. Absolute secrecy regarding their clients. The last Swiss bank of its kind.
Ratchet です。
Madame, I still haven't heard from Mr. Wadi.
Well, we'll have to make do without him. Now that my friend is here, it's his box we want to access.
And the clock is ticking. I trust there is no problem.
No, no problem at all. May I have your safety deposit box number?
4346.
May I see your key? Do you know your passcode?
Yes? Mademoiselle will be able to accompany me? No names, of course.
Of course. I'll open the door. Go down the stairs. The guard will accompany you.
Go go. 俺は今日中にクリアしたいんだ。取られへんやないか。取られへんやないか。あ、こっちか。
Please leave your personal belongings in this bin and then go through the portal. I'll open it for you.
ETA で見るやつやん。4346だっけ。4346ね。こっちだな。その下だっつうの。よし。
At last we reach our goal.
何番だっけ。間違えた。暗証番号は34962。
Now I will insert my key, if you allow.
Thank you.
コリーノ。
I'll be by the door should you need any assistance.
At last.
I suspect the effort will be worth it. This collection of various personal items. Do you know what they are, Detective Locke?
I do, Mr. Poirot. God help me, I do. Souvenirs. The trophies serial killers take from their victims to remind them of their kills. Ratchet wasn't just a kidnapper.
No, indeed. He was a monster. Another victim.
The one on the left. Ratchet.
Whoever he is with, their friendship seems over.
The build.
捉えたわ。
The hair. It could be Noah, his partner in Daisy's kidnapping.
It appears they had a falling out.
何も後ろには書いてない。
He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced. The rest of the Armstrong ransom money. The serial numbers match.
Another trophy. We may never know how many people he killed. For every soul Ratchet claimed, even more are suffering. Diamonds.
Diamonds.
Crime does pay.
No, mademoiselle. This time it was the criminal who finally paid.
Diamonds.
I wonder who this keychain belonged to. Certainly not Ratchet.
これは
Another bracelet.
え
Another victim.
Another trophy. And then there's the one that we already found, Suzanne's red glasses.
これか数珠
Another trophy. A woman. We may never know her name. You were lucky, mademoiselle, when you met him at that cabin in the forest, alone.
How many victims do you think Ratchet had?
Too many.
数珠
MC. The real journalist Michael Clark. Ratchet would have needed to kill him to assume his identity. He took this ring as his trophy. 4 years of investigation. It's all over. I finally have the last piece of evidence that Ratchet was Daisy's kidnapper and murderer.
More than that, you have helped unmask a serial killer responsible for so many deaths.
But even with all this, we're no closer to solving Ratchet's murder.
On the contrary, mademoiselle, everything. It is coming together. Don't you agree, detective?
What?
The damaged photograph.
It could be Noah. You think Noah killed Ratchet for revenge?
The train.
What about the train?
I know how a killer could vanish without leaving a trace in the snow.
Wings?
Camouflage. The trophies.
Poirot? We have a train to catch.
Not just a train, Detective Locke. We have a murderer to catch.
あ、最後の知恵比べですかこれは。乗り遅れました。テヘペロ。わあ、お腹空いてきたな。
Poirot, enough! You have kept us in suspense ever since we left Lausanne.
Forgive me, my friend. Detective Locke and I needed the time to put the last pieces of the puzzle in their proper places.
I'll fill in where I can, but this is Mr. Poirot's show.
I confess I can't help, but I feel a certain déjà vu.
You are correct, Doctor.
Déjà
We
vu.
have been here before. However, without you, we wouldn't have been able to reach the true conclusion of this story.
いろんなとこに止まってはいるが捕まってはいないっていうね。
My friends, your attention, please. I hope you have finished your dessert. You have every right to think the solution to the murder of Ratchet is a closed book. You are wrong. I, Poirot, admit that I was wrong. There is a final chapter.
What in bloody hell?
What does he mean? Perhaps if we are silent, Monsieur Poirot will explain.
Most of us naturally expect a journey by train to proceed in an orderly fashion from station to station. But this journey has gone off the rails. A comfortable journey, which should have been restful, turned out to be quite a challenge for my little gray cells. I beg your indulgence. I know it will be painful, but I must update you on the strange turn the Ratchet murder investigation has taken. I had two hypotheses, as you recall. A stranger boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchet, and then exited the train unobserved. That was the first possibility. The second solution gave us 12 jurors who condemned Ratchet to death for the kidnapping and murder of Daisy Armstrong. My friend, Book, properly chose the first solution for the authorities. However, thanks to Dr. Constantine here, a 13th stab wound was discovered, throwing that solution into disarray. Moreover, The words of a witness called into question the chronology of the night of the murder upon which the first two solutions were based. Detective Locke?
Michael admitted to having been absent several times during the night. His absence therefore gave multiple opportunities for a 13th murderer to slip into Ratchet's room before the other 12 jurors lined up to stab him.
私は何もしないって言っときながらシャシャリ出る。
When we...
Yes, you executed a man who was already dead. But there were other suspects that night.
Other suspects? Who?
They stand before you. Mr. Fauché, Mr. Maury, and Ms. Nielsen. And they all also had a hole in their stories about their movements that night. Mr. Poirot?
Most of you don't know it, but there was a second murder in Venice.
My
真
God,
実はいつも一つ。
another murder.
The victim was a man named Aziz
ばっちゃん
Wadi,
の名にかけて。
a banker in Geneva who was on the
ばっかり言ってば
payroll
っちゃんの
of
立場
Ratchet.
考える。
He looked after the money Ratchet obtained from the Armstrong ransom. Ratchet needed money and arranged to meet Mr. Wadi in Venice. One of these three knew about that money. Now, each of them had an alibi of a sort. But if any of their alibis was a lie, that person had time to murder Monsieur Wadi, Monsieur Fauché, Mademoiselle Nielsen, and Monsieur Maury. One of you murdered Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi.
Are you kidding? I pour drinks for our guests. I don't murder them.
It's nonsense.
You are accusing me because of my knives?
But why would one of my employees kill Ratchet?
デイジーの死は13人目の殺人犯の動機が
The
違いま
killer's
す。
motive for killing Ratchet was revenge, but not for Daisy's death. The motive for Aziz Wadi's murder was also revenge. Mr. Wadi was helping Ratchet.
Ratchet had an accomplice in the kidnapping named Noah. They kidnapped Daisy together. Ratchet stored the ransom money in a Swiss bank that protected anonymous clients. He forced Monsieur Wadi to watch over the money. Once enough time had passed, Ratchet felt it was safe to have Monsieur Wadi bring him cash whenever Ratchet needed it.
The serial numbers of the bills would still be in a file, but no one would be actively checking it.
Precisely. But Ratchet didn't just keep the ransom in his safety deposit box. There was something much worse. There was something much worse than Daisy's ransom money in that safety deposit box. During her investigation, Detective Locke found evidence proving that Ratchet was what is known as a trophy killer. He kept souvenirs of his crimes. We found trophies in the safety deposit box. There were others in a cabin Ratchet used in the Berkshire Mountains, including a beloved toy of little Daisy's.
If I'd have known that, I would have cut the bastard's head off.
ちゃあラチェットの殺害の動機となり得る2つの品の関連性。これこれ
I must admit I'm not
Eh?
right this
マイケ
time.
ル・クラークじゃないの？バレンティン、ジッポー、スキットル。
This is wrong. But I'm never far from the truth.
鍵の束っていうか1個しかないけど、殺害の動機となり得る2つの品の関連性。マイケル・クラークは関係ないのかしたら。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
ヒント。 レスレットつけてる。ほんまじゃき。
That's the right answer. The bracelet
Kananda.
found in the safety deposit box was also on Noah's wrist in a photograph. It's obvious Ratchet killed Noah. And therefore, at last, I can tell you with absolute certainty who the murderer of Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi is.
お、しらばっくれとるな。
No, this doesn't help.
これは使えない。
That doesn't prove anything.
これは使えない。ああ、おもろい。これですよ。やっぱおっぱいちゃんですよ。
Mademoiselle Nielsen has the same bracelet as the one found in the safety deposit box in Geneva. A trophy from a victim of Ratchet. Noah.
Having a similar bracelet doesn't prove anything.
Yes, that might be true. If there were not an inscription on it.
Mr. Poirot, you're right. The bracelet looks similar to mine, but I have no idea what the marks on it mean. I just like the design.
The marks are not random, mademoiselle. These are special bracelets. They are called Morse code bracelets. Because, well, you know why. The marks are Morse code. Happily, I learned Morse when I was a young man doing my service for the Belgian army.
こいつすごいな。えトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥトゥ知りませんがな、モルシー語。フレア。ああ、そういうことね。
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
どこが頭なんだ？ここか？うん。こうか。フレジャー。
That's the right answer.
そのおっぱいが凶器なんだ。
On the bracelet found in Ratchet's safety deposit box was the name Freya in Morse code. Your first name. It belonged to your father, Noah. Noah Nielsen. Let's stop playing this little game, mademoiselle. What does yours say? Noah?
It says father. Ratchet. That bastard. He kept my father's bracelet as a trophy.
Thank you. I have to admit your timing for Ratchet's murder was perfect. Do you mind if I continue?
Would it matter? Go ahead. You've earned the right to crow.
I do not make bird sounds, mademoiselle. I take no pleasure in this.
やっぱおっぱいが犯人だったか。凶器だからな、おっぱいは。
You drugged Ratchet's dessert to ensure he would be unconscious when you went to his room. You stole a knife from Monsieur Maury. If it was identified as the murder weapon, he would be accused. You knew Pierre Michel would leave the train for a smoke whenever it was stopped at a station. At Vinkovsky, you waited until he was on the station platform. Then, you carefully made your way along the first-class corridor to Ratchet's room. You entered Ratchet's room with the pass key, accessible to all employees in the crew quarters. You stabbed Ratchet at midnight.
But that knife, where is it?
Probably thrown out of Ratchet's window before the train left the station. A thorough search after the snow melts should turn it up.
My beautiful knife.
My beautiful
Then
knife.
you carefully returned to the crew quarters, replaced the passkey, and returned to your poker game. Et voila. The affair was not so complicated in the end. But what made the crime seem more complex? Well,
It was us.
exactly. The 12 jurors who proceeded to
元々みんな
carry out
殺す気だ
their
ったって
far
こと
more
かな。
complicated plan, literally in the dark, without realizing that the man was already dead.
Speaking only for myself, of course, but I believe we would have invited you to join us.
Ms. Nielsen, you killed Ratchet because he killed your father. Your motive is crystal clear. But why did you kill Aziz Wadi?
It's because of Aziz that my father died. My father knew Aziz was the only one with access to Ratchet's safe, so he convinced Aziz to steal the money from the safety deposit box. But Aziz was too afraid of Ratchet. Instead, he betrayed my father by reporting him to Ratchet. Obviously, Ratchet then murdered my father. Aziz was just as guilty of my father's death as Ratchet.
Ratchet was the worst of humanity. But Monsieur Wadi, if you knew his story,
My father is dead because of him.
I will not debate the point with you, mademoiselle. He had done nothing to justify his death. I do not see any extenuating circumstances that should allow you to escape justice. You will be arrested at the Gare de Lyon when we arrive in Paris.
Judge and jury are you, Monsieur Poirot. And you get away with it.
Exactly.
You must be nice. But think of this. I know what you did. What you all did.
She's right. She could turn us all in.
Relax. Hector, is it? Your secret is safe with me. I'm not going to jail. Farewell, Poirot. Enjoy your victory.
お
Stop!
走る。飛び降り。飛び降りません。
No, Freya, don't jump. You're going to die.
I've made my choice. We'll let fate decide.
No!
いやいやいやいや、欄干やろ、まず。まず欄干やろ。俺は帰るが実現したじゃないか。まず欄干やろ。
She
欄干
jumped
当たるだろ
off the train. Even if she hit the water, considering the height, I doubt she survived. And with this tunnel, either way, she's gone, Poirot.
被疑者死亡のまま書類送検ってやつ。欄干の隙間抜けたかあれ、あの速度で。飛んだ時にほっとヨガっつってヨガエスケープ。
I still can't
あいつ
believe
も
what
ヨガギブアッ
happened.
プしちゃったな。
13 people took revenge on the same person. This investigation is so incredible.
まるで探偵小説みたいな。
It almost looks like a detective
探偵小説なん
It
だ。
would surely be a bestseller. It
Even
is
if it's a
true that this
bestseller.
case will remain as one of the most important investigations of my career.
My only regret will be that I couldn't bring Ratchet to justice, but I can finally close this chapter of my life.
Your determination paid off. You can be proud of yourself.
I think we'll be arriving in Paris soon.
If you will pardon me, Detective Locke, I have to settle a few details with Monsieur Book before we
ま
arrive.
だあるのか。
Please, go ahead.
ヨガギブアップしたあいつのこと
I
について
still
か。
can't believe Freya was the killer. She never even cheated when we played poker.
She used too much sugar.
Nonsense! Her desserts were divine!
Unfortunately, her actions were not so divine.
There you are, my friend.
Book, I have a favor to ask.
anything.
When we arrive in Paris, will you speak to the police? I would rather keep a low profile.
But why?
Book, my first solution was incorrect.
飲み消そうとした。
The nuttier
飲み消そう
mystery
とした
became, the greater your brilliance.
Please.
Very well, if you insist.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, for your service. The cuisine,
俺は
under
完全
difficult
に
conditions,
操作
you
ミスをしたんだ。
surpass the reputation of
隠し
the
てくれ。
Orient Express.
That is true.
I look forward to seeing you again abroad, Monsieur Poirot. I promise, not all of our trips are this eventful.
Princess Dragomirov would like a word with you, Monsieur Poirot. It is important. She is waiting for you in her compartment.
When a princess summons me, how can I refuse?
イチャイチャしよってから
Ah,
に。
Mademoiselle Debenham et Captain Arbuthnot. Allow me to congratulate you on your upcoming nuptials.
I hope you won't be too disappointed if you're not invited.
Archie, really? Thanks to Mr. Poirot, there will actually be a wedding.
As you say, my darling. Sorry, old man, and thanks for everything, including finding my train ticket.
うまっ。獄中結婚だな、マジ。邪魔なんですが。
Count Andrigny, how is the Countess?
Much better now that it's all over. I misjudged you, Poirot.
And I you.
There is something else about my wife you should know. Why I am so overprotective.
She is pregnant.
You are quite the detective.
Actually, Dr. Constantine told me. She admitted as much when he was attending to her.
If it's a girl, we are going to name her Daisy. If it's a boy,
Hercule?
he'll be stuck with Rudolph. It's a family tradition.
ルドル
I
フ。
wish you
やっ
and
ぱ、
all of your
シン
family
ボリ
much
家
happiness.
の人なんかな。シンボリ家の子供なんだな。で、デイジーって名前つけてしまった。殺された子の名前つけてもうた。言うて。後々後悔するパターン。シンボリにしとけよかった言うて。おお、嫁元気やん。
My daughter, my great friend, and I wanted to talk to you one last time. I speak on behalf of the entire Armstrong family, as well as those close to us. You have shown compassion.
クリス・
We
ヘ
know
ス
your
にしとけば
reputation,
よ
and
か
we
った。
understand that your choice was not
ルド
easy
ル
for
フ
you.
は真
We
面
are
目すぎ
all
る
the
言
more
うて。
grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations, my dear. You managed to say the word thank you, although he did manage to put us through quite a lot.
You have given us all closure and some peace of mind.
You should know that I regret nothing. If this Freya Nielsen person had not been involved, I would have done it again.
Someone told me the Stalinists were frightened of you. I believe them.
The country of my birth breeds its share of brutes and bullies, but also some of the greatest intellectual and artistic minds the world has ever known. I pray that one day we will again be remembered for that.
I share your hope, Princess.
And
ま
of
さかロ
course,
シアがこ
with
ん
the
なこ
real
とになってる
murderer
とは
of that man out there somewhere, we are no longer guilty of much. Correct?
Princess, don't push your luck too far. If you'll excuse me, I have some packing to do. Ladies?
終わったよし、帰るか。ふるさとに帰るか。
At the end of this investigation, I still have my doubts. Did I make the right choice with the 12 self-proclaimed jurors?
ああ、解放した私は正しかったのか。本当は違うと思うんだけどな。俺、罪は罪だけど、いいんじゃない？
Yes, it was the right thing to do. As for Mademoiselle Nielsen, what would I have done if she had not escaped?
警察には突き出して、まあ実質の殺人犯ってことで突き出してもいいとは思うけど、罪は罪は軽くなるかって話やな。で、うやむやにしてもいいと。まあおっぱいちゃん好きだからね。
Crime was committed. By letting all those responsible go free, I am no longer just a simple investigator, but a judge. This question will haunt me. Judges often take motive into consideration when deciding the sentence for a crime. You are not a judge. Your job is to establish the facts, which you have done. The case has been solved. Another already awaits you. It is the reason you are on this train. It is time. Time to move on.
ああ、エンディングですか？今度こそだよね。動ける。おっ
I
ちゃん
hope
三
you
人
will
衆。
travel with us again, Monsieur Poirot.
おっちゃん三人衆。すぐ電話する。
Monsieur Poirot, I spoke with my associates. I convinced them to give you a deal on our new Firenze SUV. No need to thank me. It's the least I could do.
That is very generous, but no, I do not drive.
You don't? What? But it's electric.
EV ですよ。
It's
地球に
good
欲しい
for
の
the
に。
planet.
I am good for the planet, as long as I don't drive.
I don't understand. He refused.
理解できない。何も言わんのかい。獄中結婚にさせたのか。ああ、もうあさっての方向いてるわ。
Have you lost something? May I help you?
Oh, Mr. Poirot, you have done so much already.
What is it you have lost?
My friends, we are traveling to Poland to help with children. We were to meet at an information booth. But where do I get information on how to find an information booth?
There is, I believe, an information booth just inside the main terminal.
案内所の隣にある案内所で聞ける案内所がそこにある。
And you, madam, are a good soul.
そこに行く案内を一緒に。
I will miss this train.
嬉しいですな。嫁割と好き俺。もうちょいいっぱいあればね。すぐ無罪って言ったのに。
Hey, Poirot. Say, have you seen a scruffy little guy in a green trench coat?
I cannot say I have. Why?
He's my next case.
Another case? That was indeed fast.
A detective's gotta eat. You know what I mean.
I have some idea, yes.
Suspected embezzler. Traveling east, but not on the Orient Express. Say, you wouldn't be interested in teaming up, would you? Some good money in it.
I have had enough of trains for a while, thank you.
Okay, suit yourself.
ポアロさんお金持ってんのかな。おばちゃん三人衆。
Mr. Poirot, Mr. McQueen here thinks he may know an attorney in the Berkshires who might need a gentleman's gentleman.
He's old school English. I think the clock stopped for him in 1934.
I hope it works out for you, Monsieur Masterman. What about you, Monsieur McQueen?
Well, back to law school for me, following my father's footsteps. We can take the train to St. Pancras, then the Piccadilly line to Heathrow and check out some flights.
Might as well. We're already packed.
I wish you both bonne chance.
Ah, Poirot. Mission accomplished. I have reported to the police that Freya Nielsen killed Ratchet and that she escaped. They're issuing an international arrest warrant. There's a canal that runs alongside the tracks where she jumped from the train. But they say there's little chance she survived. The police have questioned all of the passengers and crew, so for now, they are free to leave.
でもさ、これって刺し傷が13個あっ
I
て
gave them
刃
the
物が
results
違
of
っ
my
て分かってる
preliminary
から
autopsy,
結
and
局はい
they
つ
have
か
the
見つ
report
かるん
from
じゃ
the
ねえの
Venetian
みんな
authorities. They
今
were
のが刺したろ
arguing
みたい
about
な
jurisdiction when I left.
Thank you, Doctor. You have been of
ね司法解剖した
inestimable
ら
help.
分かりそうだけど
A fascinating case. I'm pleased I could assist you.
結局なんか科学で同じこと言われそうじゃない
It seems our paths part here. It was an honor and a pleasure to
って
work
い
with
う
you.
野暮なこと言ったらね
And I am
推
with
理
you,
ものは意味なくなっち
The
ゃうから
case would have been impossible without your tenacity and dedication to finding the truth. You also proved to be an able con artist in Geneva.
You too.
わあチュー
Thank
す
you
るか
for
と思った
everything. I'll never forget you.
And I shall always treasure our collaboration.
確かにバイバイロックちゃん
Well, that's that. I'm hungry. Let's go to the Wagon Rouge restaurant. They make an excellent leg of lamb.
But it's only 5:34 p.m. Is food all you really think about, my friend?
I'm the one inviting you. You've well deserved it.
I'm warning you, I'm not going to obtain for you a secret recipe this time.
Poirot, they make a chocolate mousse that is so creamy. It must have a secret ingredient in it.
The last recipe came from a murderer.
But it was sublime.
終わりいやいや面白かったなかなかねやっぱちゃんとしてるよねちゃんとしてるっつったらあれだけどちゃんとしてないようなちゃんとしてるようなって感じだけどちゃんとストーリーしてたねで結構綺麗に動いたねっていう感覚もっとなんか雑なんかなと思ったけどで短いかなと思ったけど結構長くてしっかりストーリーしてていろんなこと知らないとなかなか難しいなっていうのはあったね結構頭使ったわいやー面白かったこれ続編出たら面白いな続編あんじゃねえのこれアガサ・クリスティシリーズこれ結構俺おすすめだけどな違うこれじゃない見なきゃダメ中身は日本語ポロさん
Dear Poirot, I didn't really have time to say goodbye when we parted. I thought I had beaten the greatest detective in the world. But you unmasked me. I still had my revenge, though. I even managed to help myself to a small amount of cash from Wadi's bag before you interrupted me in Venice. It will be enough to settle somewhere in a quiet little town where I will create delicacies for appreciative
ニール
clients.
セン
You
生
won't
きて
hear
た
from
か
me
おっ
again,
ぱいちゃ
nor
ん
will
生きて
Booth
たみ
get
たい
any more of my
やっぱ綺
recipes.
麗に
Oh,
欄干の隙
and
間す
one
っ
last
て
thing.
抜けてったんだ
You may
な
not think so, but I truly believe Ratchet and Waddy got their just desserts. Regards, F.
You, mademoiselle, are entirely too pleased with yourself. You give clues no one could follow. Unless they are Hercule Poirot.
ちゃんと欄干の隙間縫ったな。はい、ということでアガサ・クリスティシリーズになりそう。オリエント急行殺人事件でした。まあ俺的には満足です。2000円ちょっとで買えるなら、なんだかんだ多分10時間ちょいぐらいあったかな。面白かったね。どうでしょうか。ライス君面白かった？俺は結構好きだけどな。ただその間違っても OK っていうのがっていうのと、そのこれでなんかあるかなって最後思ったんだけど、なんもなかったっていうのがまあちょっとなっていうのはあるけど、まあ純粋に物語を進行型で見ていくっていう感じで考えればまあありかなと。まあ2点3点する話もあってとても良かったとは思いますけどね。はい。まあそんな感じですかね。まあ続きがもし出れば別の話がねまたやってみたいなと思いますんで、ご視聴ありがとうございました。いやーお腹減ったわ。俺もドトールのアイスでも食うかな。ということで終わります。ありがとうございました。バイバイ。またね。この後ねちょっと飯食ったりお風呂入ったりしてからストロークやるかも。ちょっとだけスト6やらないとなと思いますんで。はい。じゃあまたお疲れ様です。バイバイ。